Typical story. She dreams about big stage, fans and attention, but no luck with it.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it great? Isn't it swell?
That's great. We'll be in touch.
You know, I'm not quite finished yet. I have a... God damn it.
Can't pass simple casting. But in finale, she made it. She became famous and recognizable. How did she do it? What makes one special and interesting? What has changed? Roxy herself explains it as, all that is because she is a murderer. Blood and violence attracts people. But this is not right. True reasons are different. They are embedded in the plot, and not available for idiots. Let's begin. Both of them are murderers, and both of them hate each other.
Forget it. It'll never work.
Why not?
Because I hate you.
There's only one business in the world where that's no problem at all.
They would never reach any agreement. None of them would let the other one to be a head. Any group needs a head. Democracy is always a failure. Constant fight for leadership is counterproductive.
See, since I can remember, I have wanted to be on the stage.
Really? What's your talent? Washing and drying?
No.
Nominal leader
I dance
is
in the
not a
chorus.
leader.
Oh.
In theory, their hate might be useful. One who understands laws of human communications can become their unofficial leader, and both of them, in effort to screw the other one, will accept him, and their group would have a head and would become successful. But it is in theory. In practice, there is a problem. Every typical woman thinks everyone, literally everyone around her, is wrong. She thinks that all people are fools. Fun thing that she uses that assumption as her personal proof that she is a true perfection. Both of these girls think themselves as true perfection, and both of them will treat their manager as a fool. They will disobey and sabotage his plans.
That is no way to win a jury's sympathy.
Oh, you don't need advice anymore.
Look at here, Mr. Mouthpiece. I'm sick of everybody telling me what to do, and you treat me like dirt. You know that? You treat me like I'm some dumb, common criminal.
But you are some dumb, common criminal.
Typical mediocre, pretentious women. But these two were special. They had something a typical woman does not have. Obedience experience. Experience they developed during their custody. So, it slowly turns out, it is not their murder experience that made them successful, but ability to obey Better One, and do what he says. However, there was a real and tangible risk of death needed to make her obey Better One, and lie in court as he planned for her, keep her stupid mouth shut when it is needed.
Not for all he can steal.
Maybe you'd like to appear in court without me.
Well, maybe I could. Have you read the morning papers? They love me.
Rise up. They love you a lot more if you were hanged. You know why? Because they sell more papers.
You're fired.
Quit.
What happened?
It's the honey egg. She lost her last appeal.
So what's that mean?
Well, that means that next week, she's gonna...
You know, it's really not that bad.
You clear about everything we agreed on?
Yep. I've been up all night rehearsing.
Valuable experience. Usually a woman who can't even assume that someone who might be more clever than she exists. She literally thinks herself as true perfection. This misconception does not allow her to see and obey Better One, the mastermind. But in presence of death, some of them, just some of women, start being able to see mind carriers. This woman refused to perceive mind carrier, decided to stay stupid and dwell in self-admiration. In film, it is clearly shown that there were ways to escape from Hangman, which means she was arrogant at court and did nothing else than imposing everyone her majesty. This typical woman was mocking jury and judge. In other words, she did what every woman does to their fathers, husbands, and sons. Every word, every intonation, and every gesture of typical woman is nothing else than show up and mockery. Woman never explains anything, never uses logic. On contrary, she always tries to prove her interlocutor that he is an idiot. This woman did the same, irritated jury and judge. Cause and effect. Lawyer managed to neutralize this kind of attitude, and Roxy managed to focus herself, not on herself, but on him.
I've been waiting here for 10 minutes. Don't do that again. What do you do when Harrison starts coming after you?
I sit still and look straight ahead, never at the jury.
And?
And I look modest.
And?
And
say nothing. That was the deal, right?
Right.
Right. You ask me back, I do all the talking this time.
Absolutely, Billy. Whatever you say.
She was quiet and stayed away from irritating jury and judge. Plus, this dress trick.
Again.
This dress makes me look like a Woolworth's lampshade. I'm not wearing this.
You're wearing it because I tell you to wear it.
One might think that this dress was needed to make her look nice in front of a jury, that it is about style and old-fashioned look. No. This dress was needed to make Roxy feel as a freak, to interrupt her self-admiration, and to make her feel humble and quiet. State of humbleness is perceived psychoenergetically, and any jury would favor humble one. This dress was needed for Roxy. It is not about her physical look.
Absolutely, Billy. Whatever you say.
Women can't figure out such things, or they would dress differently and act differently. For example, they would not argue their husbands when they try to explain some basic stuff, and would not impose their retarded, logically broken point of view. So, the lawyer saved her from Hangman. It was not his lies to jury what saved her, but her transformation. However, transformation was not complete. She still was full of hatred. She still sabotaged her own performance and was not interesting to public alone. Both of them were not interesting to public alone, even after jail and trial. In order to understand why they became successful, it is needed to take on account their manager, some wise man behind the scene, some wise man who understands human nature. He created a performance where two women who hate each other depict love to each other and cheer public. It is known that woman always portrays the opposite of what she really feels. When she is scared, she portrays bravery. When she cheats, she portrays fidelity. When she hates, she portrays love. And everyone who is not developed enough to be called wise perceives that kind of portrayals as something very, very sincere and admirable. Man behind the scene is not shown in film, but let's take a closer look at the lawyer, his prevenient level.
I don't care about expensive things, cashmere coats, diamond rings, don't mean a thing. All I care about is love. That's what I'm here for. Let me see her standing there and honest miss.
It might seem that the lawyer is some kind of player, but for our viewers, it should be clear that it is not his true face. It is women's fantasy about him. Fantasy where they feel themselves needed and interesting for him, where he is just another hungry for sex retard, when in reality, the lawyer is not interested in meat at all.
Mrs. Flynn, I'm Roxy. Hart.
Oh.
Mom talked to you about me.
Oh, yeah, right, the cute one.
Oh, well, I was hoping that you might represent me.
You got $5,000?
Gee, that's a lot of money. But, maybe we could, make some sort of arrangement between us. And I could be an awfully good sport.
Good, you got that out of your system. Now listen, you mean just one thing to me. You call me when you got $5,000.
In reality, he realizes human nature, laws of life, and he means business. All that makes him extremely successful in his realms. He's not really interested in money. He is interested in education of deserving ones, and money is just an instrument required to set up proper mentor-student relationships. His true face is shown very slightly, because mass viewer hates something and someone they can learn from.
Could take a chance. Never lost a case. You're a free woman, Roxy, huh?
Mass viewer wants lies and fantasy.
God save Illinois.
The lawyer teaches his clients to perceive and accept mind carrier, someone who knows more. Let's examine one of his methods.
I get all teary-eyed, then ask to borrow your handkerchief. Then I thought I'd take a peek at the jury like this. Flashing a bit of thigh, huh? What do you think?
Sounds great.
Okay, don't you want to hear the rest?
Tomorrow, kiddo. You're at the top of my list.
As soon as Brunette stops listening and starts setting her own working conditions, which is basically nothing else other than just usual woman show-off, he switches his attention to Roxy. Roxy is interesting for mind carriers. Every woman wants to kill. As some researchers say, quote, "It is their strategy to avoid their own death by impersonating into it," end quote. Every woman wants to kill, but not all manage to follow their plans. Not all, but still many. Yes, Roxy is a stupid murderer, but instead of killing her own husband or boyfriend, which are basically the same things, like all other women in the film did, she killed her lover. She is never near to be as developed as a wise man, but the fact that she killed her lover shows that she is more developed than other women around her. Typical woman lives in hate and wants to kill.
On the couch, drinking a beer and chewing. No, not chewing. Popping! So I said to him, I said, "You pop that gum one more time." And he did. So I took the shotgun off the wall and I fired 2 warning shots. Into his head.
Target usually does not matter for her, as if because she does it in order to feel sensation.
In a jealous rage. You've been screwing the milkman, he says. He was crazy. And he kept on screaming, "You've been screwing the milkman." And he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times.
The most hated person in a woman's life is her biggest mentor. Usually it is her husband. Usually he is the only person interested in her development. Her husband deserves respect and maybe even special video. He is not stupid. He is developed enough to play a clown in effort to help lawyer. If Roxy was typical household wife, she would attempt to kill him. Most probably she would not succeed in it, but she would try. But Roxy was not typical household. She was a star, and she had some knowledge in some sectors of life. Knowledge that her husband gave her. That's why she killed her lover, someone she treated as expendable. It is very important to understand that Roxy is different, not by her actions, but by principles and ideology. It is no accident why the best lawyer picked her, no accident why jury and court let her free, and no accident why she made it to the big stage, so others, who are capable of learning, would look at her and learn to perceive and follow better ones. Mass viewer would say that Roxy was just a whore. Yes, Roxy was a whore, but only at the beginning of the film. And there is a small detail which tells us she has changed in jail. She stopped being a whore. She overcame this degenerative state of typical woman. Here it is.
Behind you.
Oh, thank you. I'll put that at the top of my list right after finding a job and an apartment with a John.
Just shut up and listen to me.
She does not have anywhere to live. It is poverty. But she just left jail, her face on newspapers, and she is still very famous.
Tell them we gotta raise some money for her defense. They'll buy everything she's ever touched. Everything. Your shoes, your dress.
County Courthouse. The city of Chicago has come to a complete standstill as the trial of the century finally draws to a close. Mrs. Hart sits quietly at the defense table, hands folded.
It is guaranteed for that moment. She is overfed with different offers. Typical whore would just accept one and become a kept woman with place to live and commodities. But Roxy did not fall for this. If she would accept those offers, she would never reach big stage. It is only retards think that public is interested in and pays attention to whores which jump from one bed to another. People are interested in ones who go up in their development. Who really goes up in development, which means who makes changes in principles and ideology and not just in style and behavior. Who does not refuse help from mentors. Principles and ideology is perceived psychoenergetically and cannot be faked. One kind of ideology irritates and annoys. Other kind makes people want to help, support, and accept into their group.
Absolutely, Billy. Whatever you say.
Mr. Flynn.
Lawyer knows it and uses it successfully.
There's one thing that they can never resist, and that is a reformed sinner.
Roxy was disobeying and sabotaging her husband. However, she did not really refuse his help. She also did not refuse help of Lawyer. And she did not refuse her manager's offer to perform together with Brunette. This pretty big list of victories she made upon herself. Victories upon shitty sides of herself. That kind of self-development is truly interesting for almost everybody. Public would hate her. They would remember her being a whore. They would make fun of her, tell slanders and gossip, but her development will keep them interested. Most people do not understand such things. They think that there are freaks only at the stage. Yes, freaks gain a lot of attention, but their popularity is short, cheap, and quickly forgotten. When such persons as Roxy Hart stay interesting through the centuries. Her story was a real event which occurred in 1924, and new plays and films about her keep coming. So, people who developed at least a little bit will learn how important it is to accept help from a mentor and start doing real steps towards enlightenment.